The Be Bold Show is proudly supported by Mobilia, your everyday solutions. So aesthetic, makeup for a flawless look. Dream Oval, making life simple. And styled by House of Kramer with B. Vanage and Mosaic Shoes.
Welcome back to the Be Bold Show. It's been an exciting episode. If you've missed some of it, very easy. Just go on to thebeboldshow.com, catch up on some of the articles, the discussions we've been having on Twitter at Be Bold Show, on Instagram at Be Bold Show as well, and Facebook, of course. Things are constantly going on.
That's right. Now, our social media movement, I hope you guys have started joining us on that. It's the Be Bold Here I Stand social media movement. And what you need to do is hashtag Be Bold Here I Stand. Put a picture of yourself back in the day to where you are now, and let's see what happens. And you could win some amazing prizes.
Yeah. Now, moving on, I'm sure you've noticed that this episode has been all about apparel. We've done bags and shoes and lingerie, and just we're doing more of that.
Definitely. Now, our next guest is probably the most famous online African wear clothing store that we know. It is Afro Chic. Let's have a look.
My name is Issy Cleland. I'm just turned 30, so I feel ancient now. And have been an entrepreneur now for, 3 years? I think almost everything I've done in the last 4 years has been an attempt to sort of contribute. So an attempt to contribute, but also contribute something that perhaps only I could contribute. So before this time, before Afro Chic, I had a blog called What Your Mama Never Told You About Ghana. And it was actually sort of highlighting all of the good, some good things, fun things, funny, interesting things about Ghana, and then transition from there to do Afro Chic, which I also think is a reflection of all of the good that can come out of here, sort of our creativity, but always doing things that are relevant to this society.
And were you born and raised in Ghana? Did you grow up here forever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I was born here, went to Wesley Girls High School, and then after that I went to college in the US. I went to college and then graduate school in the US. And then right after school I got on a plane with $50 in my bag and came home.
Really? And why did you decide to come back?
I came back because my dream job was here. I had found this company online that was, it was an engineering company. I had studied engineering in school. And the company had that same sort of, I don't know what to call it, values, or, like people in Ghana trying to do things for Ghanaians. So I thought, okay, the job that they had for me was exactly what I thought I would come back. Initially I was thinking, I'll stay in the US for like 20 years, make some money, and then I'll go back to Ghana to do this thing. But then suddenly I found people who seemed to have the money, and so it was a choice between, coming back to do it now when I'm still excited about it, or waiting till 20 years time when I may not be. Things happen. So I came.
Wow. And you never looked back?
No.
Now I'm going to take you back to, your website, afrochiconline.com. Mm-hmm. How did you come up with that concept?
Afro Chic actually, it was founded by two people. It's myself and my business partner, and both of us were, as mentioned, returnees. So both of us had gone to college in the US, and then we came back. So we'd really, when I was in college, I was shopping online, right? So I think we had become spoiled by the convenience, but it was actually two things. One was just being able to go into a shop and being able to afford it, even as a student, that we could say we're going shopping, right? And yet we didn't have that much money. So Afrochic was actually a bunch of things that came together. How it came to be online, it really was more out of necessity than anything else. So we wanted to start this shop. We didn't start with a lot of money, and as every entrepreneur would know, if you want to rent a store in Accra, you need at least 2 years rent in advance. Actually, a store usually 5 years. So, and we didn't have 5 years rent of advance just to sink into an untested idea, right? So, thankfully, my business partner could build a website, and I had experience making in advertising. So, and we launched. So we actually, our business actually launched online. We had an online store before we had a physical store because it didn't cost us as much money. It just cost us our skill.
Setting up a shop or a boutique or anything, you need designs, you need people making the clothing. Like, how did that work for you? How did you get your whole team together?
It was an intense 2 years where it was just us. You know, it was just the two of us doing everything. And then, you know, as the business grew, over time we realized, oh, we can afford, you know, we don't have to be sitting in the shop all day. Mm-hmm. We can afford to have a sales person and then another, and then, oh, now we can afford to have a production person. And so it's been, in a sense, building it brick by brick.
Yeah. And learning as you went along. Yes. Wow. Now, another question we had was, you know, the reason why a lot of online stores outsource to abroad is because payment-wise, it is so much easier. If you have a credit card, put in your credit card number and it goes. If you know, everything is just made so much easier. Whereas in Ghana, not everybody has a bank account. Not everybody knows how to use a credit card or anything. And so, how do you deal with that? Payments is tough. I will share. Well, so what we've been doing for the last 2 years, really what we did was we, even though we say it's an online store, it really allowed people to see what it is that we have, and then to be able to order it in their size, and then we would deliver it to them. So the payment was never done online. Okay.
The payment was once we brought your item to you, then you pay cash. So, but that also meant that we had a hard time finding a delivery company that would do that, sort of accept the cash for us. Well, now we have, so what we then did was, you know, trying to look at payment solutions that would allow the customer to pay us first. Then we can use a delivery company.
Okay.
Because we ended up having to run a delivery company ourselves.
Yeah, for instance, what if someone orders a dress and then you deliver and they're like, oh no, I didn't. Has that ever happened?
Not as frequently as you would imagine.
No.
You know, when we first started, people said, oh, you know, this is Ghana.
Yeah.
People are going to order, and then you get there and they'll say,
have the
I was
money.
joking.
Yeah.
But it hasn't actually, you know, I think we need to have more faith in ourselves that it hasn't happened. And then, you know, another thing people said was, oh, if you have a return policy, people are going to buy the clothes, wear them, and return it. But that hasn't been, I mean, of every 100 clothes that we sell, less than 10 of them are returned.
Wow.
You know, so...
Oh, so you also have a return policy then?
Yes, so if you buy something, within 10 days you can return it to the store and you get store credit, which is valid for a year.
Okay.
So I think we need to maybe have a little more faith in ourselves, but we haven't, in delivering the clothes, I never, when we were doing the deliveries ourselves, I actually never had a situation over a 2-year period. I never had a situation where I drove there and the person said no.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were talking earlier that it was out of necessity almost that you first started an online store before going to a physical store.
Yeah.
But you have a physical store now. So how did you make that transition?
Well, I think it was just people kept asking, you know, because we would go out to promote this online store, and then, you know, you would say all that and they'll say, yeah, but where can I come to try on the clothes? So, you know, people just kept asking, where can I come to see the clothes and try them on? And so we set up a shop just to test it. Actually, that was not a proper shop. It was like part of a house that we used. But we noticed that people were coming. You know, people were coming and they were bringing their friends. So even in that, you know, how will I put it? In a state where it wasn't ideal, people were still coming. So when it got to the point where we could afford to have a store, it was yeah.
What have been some of the biggest challenges you faced in setting up Afrochic and keeping it going?
It's a double-sided thing. Is just being in Ghana. The truth of the matter is that if you wanted to build a clothing brand elsewhere in the world, it might be easier. It would be easier to find apparel factories if I were in Bangladesh, or if I happened to be in even Brazil or the US. A lot of the parts already exist, and you don't have to be everything, right? So if I wanted to set up an online shop in the US, it wouldn't even have occurred to me that delivery was a key part of it. It would have been automatic, you know, that, oh, you just order and then I put it in the mail and it's gone. So I think one of the challenges is that by being here, a lot of the pieces of the puzzle haven't yet fit. And so you end up having to do a lot more than what you would consider your core business.
Caught me. Wow, beautiful, affordable clothing that you can just buy straight off the rack. It comes in so many different sizes. I am honestly impressed with what they're doing. It's absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to keep shopping and we'll see you later. Bye. Afrochic.
Yeah,
she was heavily pregnant. When we were sitting there, we were like, oh my goodness, she can pop at any moment. Like, it was her time. But
are you gossiping on me right now?
No, because we were excited that it was going to be a Be Bold baby. But we also got a chance to see her store, Afrochic, and we went there and bought some things, and it was really, really nice.
Yeah. I love what she's doing, like an H&M right here in Ghana with African print.
Yeah, and the first online store. So
yeah, and you're telling me her prices are very affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very interesting what Afrochic is doing, and guess what? She's giving out a voucher to the person who's most active this week across our social media platforms, while specifically looking at Facebook. So get on there, like, discuss, share, anything you want to do just to be on top and be that person that is the most active, to stand a chance of winning that voucher to buy Afrochic stuff. So let's take a break. We'll be back with some more exciting stuff for you. Stay with us.
A day in the life of Biz Tips and this week's Scholarship Fund project update coming up next.